I'm Margot Zach. I'm a holistic health practitioner and functional nutrition counselor in Southeast Michigan. My practice, Emerge Nutrition, focuses on people who have experienced some kind of trauma, whether it's physical or mental or social, and using nutrition and other lifestyle techniques to help them get out of it. I've been practicing for a little over 3 years now in private practice, and I've just absolutely been blown away by this program and the system.
What were you most frustrated with before?
Before the six-figure speaking mentorship, I was so frustrated because I just wasn't able to get in touch with people to actually give the information that I had. I felt like I had so much to say and so much information that people needed, especially because I started my practice right before COVID hit, essentially. And then all of a sudden, everything just steamrolled. And I felt like all of my areas that I normally got clients from weren't available to me anymore. I wasn't set up online as much, even though I was doing telehealth sessions. There wasn't really an avenue for me to get in front of people at that point. So I was getting really frustrated the fact that I just could not find new clients and got completely burnt out through trying to market on social media, just completely burnt out. I spent a ton of time and I went through other programs trying to figure out how to get in front of people on social media, and nothing really clicked or felt authentic. And I think that's why it really burnt me out, is because it felt disingenuous, because it just didn't resonate with me. A lot of the things they were telling me to do didn't resonate with me. And I'm only understanding that now that I found something that really resonates, that it doesn't take a lot as much energy from me. And as an introvert, that's really precious, because I tend to burn out faster, especially because I'm seeing one-on-one clients. Anything that takes more energy away just was not an option. So the social media just really, it just didn't resonate with me. So it took a lot of my energy. I have been trying a bunch of different avenues to try to get clients, and I just never really think I knew that aspect of it. And I'm getting to a point where it's like, okay, either I need to do something with my practice and I need to figure this out, or this is just not an option for me to do this for a living. And because I just wasn't seeing money come in and weren't seeing clients come in anymore. Basically, for me, I needed something that was going to either help me make this into a business. I knew I needed help. I knew I needed help to actually make this into a business, because I just don't have experience in that area.
As you're making the decision to be a part of the six-figure speaking makeover mentorship, any hesitation?
I had hesitation at first because it was a group program and just being an introvert and knowing that I was going to have to interact with other people in a small group setting was a little unnerving at first. Obviously, the cost made me nervous, because investing in something like that, it's just unnerving to spend that much money on something. However, it was just completely worth it. I made all the money back basically by the end of the program because of what what we went through, which was just mind blowing.
How did your husband feel about it when you were trying to make the decision about whether to be a part of it?
My husband was nervous about investing that much money in something and wasn't sure about the return, right? He's a CPA, so he's just completely focused on return on investment. He was definitely nervous about it, but after I spoke with him about how I felt and how much the program resonated with me, and how I was just like I was just saying, I just was at my wit's end. It's like I either need to do something that's actually going to make an impact on my business, because as of right now it's not even a business. If you're not operating without, where your costs are greater than the money coming in, then it's not really a business. And so I just had this dream to really make this happen, and I felt that this was a solid way to do it. After seeing the webinars that were sent over, and just some of the frameworks from just discovery calls, made a huge impact in just my mindset alone. And having somebody walk me through the whole process and give me so much more confidence in what I was saying, and a way to say it that really resonated with me, instead of feeling like salesy or too pushy or something like that. Just saying it a way that was really centered and grounded made all the difference for me.
Tell us more about what's shifted for you that you're excited about. What's changed?
Well, I am so much more confident now. Even speaking with other people, if I run into someone in the grocery store or even talking to family was difficult for me before. And now, even just what we practiced in the speaking makeover mentorship, I'm able to apply that just to conversation. So it was one of those things where I had a complete mindset shift because I understood so much more about my focus and what I was doing and how to say it in a way that was concise and made sense to other people while respecting boundaries and getting the point across.
How has this affected your income?
I never thought that I would be able to sell packages on the scale that I'm selling them now. People are paying me for so much larger packages than I've ever sold, and that's increasing, and people are still paying for it. That has been incredible. I've been able to really focus on then the clients that I want to serve and my target audience versus just trying to get anyone coming in the door, right? So now it saves even more energy for me because I can focus on the clients that I really, that really fill me up versus just trying to grasp at straws like anyone who will listen to me.
Tell us what you were charging before and what you're charging now.
Oh God. It's almost embarrassing to talk about what I was charging before. At first I was charging people just for like an entry package. I was charging them sometimes only $100 for 3 sessions. Which is just outrageous. I switched it to 150, I think, like right at the beginning of the program. And then by the end of the program, I was selling like $800 and $900 packages. So it's a huge difference. I mean, not for 3 sessions, but $800 or $900 for a larger set of sessions.
Tell us a little bit about what that experience is like as you made each bump, what that felt like.
When I first started, my fees were small. When I started raising my prices, I was super nervous because I'm like, I can't raise them because I need to at least make sure I'm getting some income in. And so when I raised them and people actually started paying that, it just made me feel so amazing because it made me feel like I had value. And the huge shift for me in that was the people who were paying more often had more invested in the programs that I'm offering. And so they spent more time and more energy in the things that I was telling them because they felt that it had value also. I was not expecting that at all when I first increased, that it would have a difference in my client outcomes when they paid more. It's wild to me
What were you afraid of before?
as far as raising prices goes.
Mhm.
I was definitely afraid to raise prices because I didn't think that people would pay me for that. As a nutritionist, I'm thinking, okay, people pay lawyers and doctors and other people who like do these bigger things, quote unquote. And so why would they pay me that same amount for nutrition when you can just like Google something, like what am I actually offering? And the reality is that people really need what I have to offer. And because they're struggling right now, and you can't just Google this stuff or else people would be getting healthier, right? And so like that connection with people really brings their progress to the next level as well.
Tell us a little bit about the group programs that you're now offering and how that came about.
I am getting tapped out on one-on-one clients. As I was going through the system, I started to get more and more clients in the door. And so it's like, then I have to start thinking about, okay, now what are my next steps? Because I want to keep speaking and I want to keep making more money. But if I'm only seeing one-on-one clients, then I don't have any more time, really. I'm a mother. I have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they're my focus. And I don't want to um, take any time away from my family. I still need to have a balance. So I started working on launching these group programs for January. And so that way it can be a lot more focused. So we can have that kind of community aspect similar to what is in the system. as well, because that platform just really helps people take it to the next step when they have others keeping them accountable and giving them feedback as well. And it saves my time. And then I can focus also on creating a lot of frameworks myself that can help them as well. So it's not just me talking with them about what they need to be doing. I can give them actual systems and then walk them through in a group format that's so much more beneficial to them and to me as a practitioner.
How did you feel when you first offered the group program?
I was nervous about offering a group program because it's such a different format and I had never done one before. So I wasn't sure. I knew that it was something that I needed to do, but I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to work, if people actually wanted to do it, if that would be a format that would feel good for me as a practitioner as well. And so that was my fear going into it.
How did that change?
After I launched a pre-sale, just talking about the plan, didn't even have the system ready yet, but just like doing the pre-sale of the program, people seem to really want it because not everyone needs that one-on-one high touch, or they might not even necessarily want it because it's just a little too intimate or too intense for them. And so something in a group format might be a lot more comfortable for them. And it can be at a price point that's comfortable for them as well, because my one-on-one now is quite a bit more expensive now that I am charging more. So it's at a price point that's more comfortable for them as well.
What was it like to have the done for you templates and scripts?
Oh, wow. All of the frameworks that were in this system were revolutionary for me, because just having that base to work off of and just having something that's straightforward where you just kind of fill it in, but really also make it yours. So it doesn't feel cookie cutter or anything like that. It really is your words, but just having a framework of where to start and where to finish and what needs to be said it helps so much, because it's kind of like that one decision that feeds into all the other decisions that you have to make. So like any kind of framework that saves me having to make a bunch of decisions later on is wonderful. It saves so much time, it saves so much energy, and it's just so straightforward and easy to use. It makes it more like working with the words and working with things that you have to say. It makes it more inspiring, because just like the thought prompts and things like that, it brings ideas to your head. So you're not focusing on every single thing that you need to do. It's just like what you need to do right now. And they just feed into each other to create like this masterpiece of a talk.
How has the makeover mentorship helped you with getting booked and getting clients from it?
Yeah, the system has been incredible with helping me get more speaking opportunities, because it not only shows you how to speak in those speaking opportunities, but how to speak to people about the speaking opportunities. So I've talked to different gym owners, I've talked to doctors, I've talked to moms groups and libraries, and really been able to explain to them how it benefits them and the people that they're trying to serve as well.
When you're doing the talks and you're speaking, tell us a little bit about maybe your first one and how you felt about it.
I felt maybe a little overconfident going into to my first talk, but then I ended up losing track a little bit midway through. However, because I had the framework in front of me, I was able to jump right back in. And of course, like your first time, it's not going to be perfect. Done is better than perfect, right? Because I had the framework right in front of me, I was able to really keep on track so much better than any talk that I had before, and able to close out strong, right? Which is like so important, being able to like get through everything that you need to say and then give people instructions for next steps, which I had never done before.
Tell us a little bit more about getting some paying clients from your talks, what that experience was like.
Yeah, at my first talk, I think every single person basically signed up for some aspect of my program. I had some people sign up for like 3-session starter package. Other people at least signed up for a discovery call. And then once I got them in the discovery call, then signed up for 3-session packages. It was mind blowing to me that literally just getting in front of people. And even though it wasn't perfect at all, I followed framework as closely as possible. And literally in that case, every single person signed up for something.
That's huge.
Wild.
How many people were there?
15.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Any other pearls that you'd like to share?
Really, the advice that I would give to anyone who's like thinking about the program or just starting the program would be basically just following the steps, because at my first talk we didn't have all of the steps completed, and it still was way better than any talk that I've done before. And then with each step it just got better and better, but you have to actually do the framework, and it's really that simple, but you do have to do it to actually see a difference in what you're doing. I did my first talk and it went really well, so I was like, I'm just going to do that again. And then my second talk kind of flopped, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I need to get back into the material and make sure that I can do it in a way that's repeatable. And so completing the rest of the frameworks and then having a talk after that, just each step makes the talk better. Each step makes the talk more inviting and solid. Practicing it with our group, just it makes it better and better. But like literally, you just have to do the framework. It's as simple as that.
How do you feel this has been different from other business trainings that you've had in the past?
This has been incredibly different than other business trainings because it's so high touch. And so if anything, any kind of troubleshooting that you need to do, you figure out together. I said at the beginning, I was really nervous about being in a group format and like having to talk to other people, but just after getting to know these other introverts and just like feeling safe in that space, the feedback that you get just from other people that are in it with you was incredible and validating also. And then just the high touch with the mentorship, it's able to like get you past that hump and really make you aware of any blind spots that you had. And I had quite a few going in, and it just made me so much more aware of the blind spots and these behaviors that I had that weren't serving me. And so it not only made me a better speaker, it made me a better practitioner as well.
What would you say was the most favorite part of the mentorship experience?
I really liked our laser bonus call at the beginning, because the laser call with Chen is just like I really was able to focus on what my business needed right now, because like I said, it's a big investment. So that laser call was able to help me make income right off the bat. That just like eased so much anxiety at the beginning. And I was like, wow, this can really work. It gave me so much confidence to keep moving forward, and like the little wins to keep you motivated to be on the program and like really buy in.
What would you say this mentorship has been like for you as an introvert?
Well, this program has definitely brought me out of my shell, because as an introvert, you always kind of worry about saying the right thing. And for me, I've had so many moments in my life where I overthink. Oh, it's just like what just came out of my mouth, and I overthink it constantly, and I'll think about it later. As an introvert, just like having a set thing of what to say and being able to practice like saying the right thing in those moments, at least with potential clients and just anyone that you're talking to about your business, is huge because it's like I can't say the wrong thing now. It just flows out of my tongue, and it feels, and it's not like me stumbling or trying to figure out like what they want to hear, or to be able to sell them a package, or to be able to get them to do a discovery call or something like that. It's just like really authentic, exactly what I need to say and from the heart, that ends up either resonating with people or not. But most often it resonates with people because it's authentic.
What's your vision for your practice that you're excited about?
I'm excited to move more into communities in my area. I really love focusing on my local community. So being able to offer programs, like group programs in my area is 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 going to be great for long-term goals. I'm really excited to speak more, and I'm still figuring out where I stand with everything, because now I'm in like this whole new space that I didn't even know was possible before. My dreams right now are just expanding and trying to figure out what's the biggest it can be. I would love to offer like online courses or things like that. I really want to offer a program to really help people get out of the trauma cycle that we can get into. Stress has such a massive effect on the body. And when people experience trauma, they become more susceptible for illnesses even later on down the road. Even if they've taken care of the mental piece, there's so many physical aspects to trauma. And so being able to offer some programs to help people through that is my goal and my focus now.
Love it.
Mhm. Before I did the six-figure makeover mentorship program, I was struggling in my business. And now I actually feel like I have an option to do this because I was really kind of desperate and needed something to be able to get me to actually have this be a business. And now I'm getting clients in the door and I have people calling me, and it's a huge confidence booster, but also now it's opened up this whole world to me because I can actually create a larger practice. I can have options to like do something so much larger and have a larger impact that I just didn't realize was even possible. I walked in just trying to do something just to get the one-on-one clients in the door. That was really it. I didn't have any expectations outside of that. And now I'm excited because I really feel like I can make a greater impact in my area and in my community that's bigger than anything I thought was even possible, because I felt like I had time constraints, but it's really just opened up so much more time for me because I'm so much more efficient in getting clients in the door and within my practice.
How's your husband feeling about it now?
Great. My husband is so happy because I, one, am way less stressed out because I actually know what to do at any given point. And I'm able to spend so much more time with our family. Over the summer, actually, before I started the six-figure makeover mentorship, I was running so hard that I totally burnt out. And I felt so guilty because my kids were out of school over the summer. And I feel like I missed so much time with them. And it kind of breaks my heart because I was so focused on my business that I needed to get it off the ground. This was the time I needed to get things going, and nothing was working that I was doing. I wish I would have known about the six-figure makeover mentorship like last spring, because it would have like saved me that whole summer with my kids. But now, like over like this winter break and coming up, and I just have so much more time with my family, and I'm less stressed out because I actually have money coming in the door and a vision to move forward, which makes me so much more motivated because I actually have a vision for my future and I have clarity on the people that I'm trying to help. And I have access to those people because I'm speaking right to them.
If you knew then what you know now, what advice would you give?
Just do it. Just don't even worry about it. Just do it, especially at the beginning of the program. And as I was going through, at first, I was so hesitant because I was so stuck in the way that I'm always doing things. And I'm like, okay, is this actually going to work? This doesn't exactly feel comfortable at first. And then once you actually do it, it's like, wow, that was actually way more comfortable than anything I've done before. So it's like, wow, when you do stuff that actually resonates with you, then it's much easier to do. Mind blowing, right? So I think I would tell myself to just pay attention to the mindset shifts, because now being out of it for a little while, I've been able to make such a greater impact. And I would have been able to make that 2 months ago if I would have really dove in the first month.
And at the same time, you still grew, right?
Yeah. And at the same time, I was still able to grow so much, and just having access to the videos and being able to do it on my time. Also, after my first talk, it really made me so floored that I'm like, I need to make every single one of these calls, because there's so much beautiful, like little pearls that just can really change the way that you speak and change the way that you think about things and the way that you approach your clients in certain ways. And some of it seems so like common sense after the fact, but as an introvert, we don't really think about some of these little ways of speaking or things to include in speaking, we can kind of have this jumbled, like kind of like high energy, like nervousness of when we're speaking. And so just being able to have calm through the frameworks has been incredible. So
What would you say to someone who may be on the fence?
I would say just do it. It will give you so much more confidence, and it's absolutely worth every penny. It's the value has been way more than I could have expected from it. I just think that it really changed my entire practice and my entire focus and the way that I'm going forward. So it was so much more than just like a speaking makeover mentorship. It really changed the way that I even operate from within my practice and with my clients.
Well, I am so excited for you. It's amazing the shifts that have happened for you. And I
Mhm.
just love you now also really owning wanting to help people with trauma. And
Yeah.
because it's going to be deep work and can really help a lot of people. It's just not talked about as much. And so,
Yeah, I was fighting it for the longest time when I was thinking about specializing in different areas. And I was like, oh, I'll do this. I'll focus on like autoimmunity because that's really interesting to me. But nothing really stuck or felt like it resonated. And I knew that this was like an area that really helped me, but it's such a vulnerable space to be in when you're working with people with trauma. And you have to tread lightly and because everybody's in a different space. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be able to serve that community because there are women out there who were just like me who had been through something pretty terrible. And I know that having like nutrition and the other lifestyle changes that I made when I was going through the trauma and my nutrition studies that I had prior to and while I was going through the trauma really made the difference in my life. And I know it made me able to cope and be able to set boundaries and work through it. And so, not saying that to people, not doing this work, um, is just not an option because if somebody would have reached out and helped me in that moment, it would have been so much different for me and my kids.
love it. Yeah. Approaching trauma also in the nutrition side of things and the health side of things too.
It's one of the first things that falls off the track if trauma, if something traumatic happens, oftentimes that's the first thing to go is like focusing on healthy food. Even if you were on something beforehand, as soon as something traumatic happened or as soon as you get triggered, the first thing to go is food. And then you don't have the building blocks inside your body to be able to help your body cope with the trauma and the stress that's happening within your body. Because stress is just stress to to our bodies.
Love it. This important work you're doing. So
It's really exciting.
congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
for those of you who are in a place where you feel like you're at a plateau in your practice and you just feel like you're capable of so much more, or you are feeling it just doesn't work so much for you, the way you've grown your practice, and it's time to up level, but you don't know quite what needs to shift or how exactly to go about it, definitely go ahead and reach out to us at introvertedvisionary.com and book in for a free chat with us to see how we can help you grow faster and really have the practice that you're proud of in this next level of growth for you. So again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.